What made headlines in 2023? Catch the real impact of top story of 2023. Watch the 2023 year-end specials only on the Business Standard Morning Show from 22nd to 29th December.
Hello and welcome to the Business Standard Morning Show. I'm Binu Sandhu. It's the 22nd of December 2023 and here are the questions we will be answering today. Telecom Bill 2023. Is allocation better than auction? Was 2023 the year work from home ended? Will the rally in IndiGo and SpiceJet face turbulence? And what is JN.1, the latest Covid-19 variant?
Advancing data center performance and energy efficiency to solve your most important business challenges. AMD. Together, we advance.
Parliament has passed the Telecom Bill 2023. In a previous episode, we explored its likely implications on platforms such as WhatsApp and Telegram. Today, we will look into another key aspect, which is assigning spectrum for satellite internet services through administrative allocation without an auction. So, is allocation better than auction? Kasturi Akhil finds out.
Surprising many, the Telecom Bill 2023 has proposed a licensing approach to assign spectrum for satellite internet services. With this, the government has put an end to the debate whether the spectrum in the satellite space should be assigned administratively or through auctioning. Opinions were divided on the issue, not just in the government but in the industry too. While Reliance Jio was in favor of auctioning of the spectrum rather than allocating it administratively, Bharti Group-backed OneWeb had appealed to the government to take the administrative allocation route, so that competitive prices are available to consumers. The central government has also approached the Supreme Court to know if it could allocate airwaves administratively. The Apex Court had in 2012 ruled that competitive auctions should be held for distribution of natural public-owned resources like spectrum. It had made these observations while quashing the allocation of licenses of 2G spectrum given by the Congress-led UPA government. While the Apex Court is yet to take up the current case and clear the air, the Parliament, meanwhile, has passed the Telecom Bill, and it may turn into a law in the next few months. Apart from the regional players, Elon Musk's Starlink and Amazon's Project Kuiper 2 are set to make an entry into India's satellite space. These companies use low Earth orbit satellites to provide high-speed broadband internet services, with a focus on remote areas where deploying mobile towers or fiber optic cables are difficult. The bill states that spectrum assignment through auctions will still take place, except for specified purposes that include direct-to-home broadcasting services, BSNL, MTNL and mobile satellite services, in-flight and maritime connectivity, national long-distance and international long-distance services, among others. The central government may repurpose or reassign any frequency range and may also permit sharing, trading, leasing and surrender of spectrum. According to media reports, the price for administrative allocation of spectrum for satellite service will be decided based on reference sought from sector regulator Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, while BSNL and MTNL will need to match the auction-determined price. But is the licensing approach to assign spectrum for satellite internet services the right way forward?
This is a step in the right direction to allocate spectrum administratively, because it will bring in a lot of the foreign players now into the satellite communication market in India. We're going to have Amazon, we're going to have Starlink, Bharti Airtel, of course, through OneWeb, Reliance, of course, in partnership with SES. So I think it's good to get these foreign players to come and compete in the Indian market. And the fact that you're not going to have the spectrum being given administratively, it'll be far more easier to allocate spectrum to these new players. And when you have more competition, it would mean that it is better for the consumer, right? Because at the end of the day, consumers want better quality of service. And if there are many options to choose from, the better for the consumer. Globally, when you look at satellite spectrum, it has always been given administratively. I don't think of any country which has auctioned satellite spectrum. So we are also in a way kind of complying with some of the global norms when it comes to allocation of spectrum administratively.
And will this move offer a level playing field to space-based communication service providers and terrestrial telecom service providers?
Yes, I would think so, because they are two separate kinds of technologies. So terrestrial operators are somebody who have already been in the market for a long period of time, and Satcom is a sector which really today what India had was completely under government control. So you would find very few players to start off with, because one, there is a lot of costing related issues, and also the reach that Satcom can have is completely different from terrestrial operators. But yes, to begin with, the costing factor will be a huge thing, because I don't believe everyone can afford space communication in general to begin with. But over a period of time, just like how we saw the dawn of mobile phones in India, and obviously it started with a huge fee to begin with, and over a period of time the fee started reducing with number of subscribers increasing, etc. So that's how I would think as a process it would pan out in the next 10 years.
Allocation of spectrum at administrative prices may also help expedite the process of launching satellite broadband services, thus significantly cutting the time as well as the cost in providing high-speed data connectivity in remote and rural locations especially. However, domestic players have pointed out that the involvement of the International Telecommunication Union or ITU goes against the right of a sovereign nation to undertake spectrum assignment within its jurisdiction. The global agency ensures seamless operation of satellite systems in outer space through radio interference mitigation techniques. Thus, satellite systems are required to operate within a predefined range of frequencies by adhering to strict ITU radio regulations. Satellite communication companies, on the other hand, argue that it is a widely accepted approach, as an auction process may distort satellite spectrum utility. Most experts believe that satellite service providers and terrestrial telecom service providers are not comparable, as they incorporate different technologies, and the inclusion of foreign players will give consumers better pricing, quality, and choices of communication services. Moreover, nearly 75% of rural India does not have access to broadband. Therefore, the more the players, the better it is for India as a digital economy.
The world is better connected than ever today thanks to technology. It has also helped us tide over the pandemic crisis as homes doubled up as offices. But as travel restrictions eased and the world returned to normalcy, employers were forced to do a reality check. Most of them called employees back to the office. In our Year-Ender series, which starts today, Ayush Mishra assesses whether 2023 was the year when work from home ended. Let's listen in.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, Indian businesses swiftly embraced the remote work model, prompting speculation that it was a permanent shift in this direction. Both employees and employers valued the efficiency and cost-effectiveness associated with remote work. Nevertheless, as the pandemic abated, companies pivoted back to in-office work, deviating from the anticipated long-term trend of embracing remote work. Companies across various sectors have either revoked their work-from-home policies or are gradually transitioning employees back to offices. According to a report by Resume Builder, 90% of the 1,000 Indian companies surveyed plan to implement return-to-office policies by the end of 2024. So, is this the end of the work-from-home concept?
I think it's still evolving. It is very difficult to say that the model has ended because we have definitely seen the upsides of increased productivity, no office commute stress, and work-life balance. So some of the benefits have been there. And from the organization's perspective, when we talk about building a capability, collaboration, innovation, so that requires work from office. So I think organizations are still evaluating and trying to decide what model would work the best for them. But at this point of time, we can say that yes, organizations would definitely be going for work from office model.
The return to office trend is also reflected in the rising demand for office leasing in Indian metros. According to a report by real estate consultancy CBRE, gross office leasing activity increased by 33% year-on-year to 15.8 million square feet during the July-September period this year across 9 cities: Delhi NCR, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Pune, Kochi, and Ahmedabad. HR firms in India are also fielding requests for in-office mandates from clients from the manufacturing, BFSI, and retail sectors. Their reasons are onboarding necessities, security considerations, and the belief that operating within an office environment enhances performance by minimizing distractions commonly faced when working remotely from home.
Before COVID, everybody were working from office and we were productive, So productivity today has come to limelight because there have been some distractions when they work from home, and at least it is a bias or a feeling from the employer's point of view or a manager point of view that, if you don't see the employee working, they assume that, they are not productive. Okay, there are reports which says that work from home has still been productive and hybrid models have also been productive. And there are also cases where working from office has not been 100% productive also. So it's a mixed results in all the three models of working. So I would not say that, work from home is non-productive or work from office is highly productive. So you will have to establish a right model which suits the organization.
According to HR experts, nearly 80% of IT firms are anticipated to enforce a mandatory 5-day-a-week in-office work policy by the end of this financial year. So is it the same for other sectors as well, or just the IT sector?
While the IT sector is majorly going back to the office model, after many leaders have sided with return to office, working arrangement, other sectors are also incrementally making their headway, to the back to the office model. Sectors like retail, healthcare, we have already seen people, moving back to the on-site model because of the nature of the business. Other sectors that may have moved, that may plan to move towards work from office are BFSI or telecommunication, etc.
While employees value flexibility, managers tend to differ regarding productivity and employee relationships. Just when everyone became accustomed to the new normal of remote working, India Inc., like its international counterparts, opted to return to the old normal.
Advancing data center performance and energy efficiency to solve your most important business challenges. AMD. Together, we advance.
Let us now turn our attention to financial markets. Shares of IndiGo and SpiceJet have been buzzing on the bourses after positive news. While IndiGo achieved the milestone of carrying 100 million passengers in a year, SpiceJet has finalized its fundraising plans. Add to it, the industry dynamics are on the mend, with travel demand holding up amid falling crude oil prices. Does this mean airline stocks are set to fly higher, or is there potential turbulence that investors are ignoring? Nikita Vasisht finds out in our next report.
Airline stocks have gained fresh altitude on the bosses as industry dynamics took off. On December 20th, shares of Interglobe Aviation, the parent of IndiGo Airlines, hit a record high of 3,009 rupees per share on the BSE. They have surged 42% year to date. SpiceJet, meanwhile, hit a 52-week high of 69.20 rupees on December 19th, having zoomed 55% year to date. By comparison, the benchmark S&P BSE Sensex has gained around 16% during this period. Analysts say the sector is turning the corner as travel demand shows no signs of abating.
There is a noteworthy increase in daily domestic passenger numbers, signaling a favorable environment for airlines to experience robust passenger loads. Driving the sector forward is a decline in crude oil prices, which have already dropped nearly 20% from the peak of September 2023. This reduction serves as an early indication of relief for the industry.
According to the data provided by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, air traffic grew 9% year-on-year to 12.7 million in November 2023. That apart, passenger load factor, which measures an airline's passenger carrying capacity, has been in the range of 84 to 92% so far this year. Going forward, CAPA India, an aviation research body, forecasts domestic PAX traffic to grow over 15% year-on-year to 155 million passengers in FY24, while international traffic could increase to 70 million. That said, despite the tailwinds, CAPA expects operational fleet to be contained at 588 aircraft by March 2024. Total grounded aircraft, it said, will likely rise to 200 from 165 at present due to supply chains issues, Pratt & Whitney engine snags, and operational weaknesses at Go First and SpiceJet. The industry is, therefore, projected to report loss worth $1.6 to $1.8 billion in FY24, led by full-service carriers as per CAPA. So how should investors approach the sector?
That despite the volatile crude oil prices and on and off revision of aviation turbine fuel ATF, the profitability has not got impacted of Interglobe Aviation. The way the flight ticket prices are going up north, I don't think there is going to be any kind of concern on the earnings front. Along with that, most of the airlines, be it listed or unlisted entities, they are acquiring newer aircrafts to increase their fleet. This indicates that they are expecting robust demand going into the future.
Shah suggests investors to add IndiGo on every dip. Nuvama Institutional Equity, meanwhile, has a hold rating on SpiceJet, as it believes SpiceJet's capital raise of 2,200 crore rupees shall allow repayment of outstanding dues and resumption of certain aircraft. Today, on the 22nd of December, global cues will guide the market.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.
Key benchmark indices recovered on Thursday after crashing a day earlier amid concerns of elevated valuation and a surge in COVID cases. Over 600 fresh cases of Covid-19 were registered in the country on Thursday morning. Of them, 21 were of the new JN.1 subvariant, which is fueling the global uptick. Nandini Singh has more on this particular strain.
After the US, China, and Singapore, Cases of COVID-19 are soaring in India too. In the southern state of Kerala, active cases have soared past 2,000, while the countrywide number was 2,669 as on 21st of December. Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Karnataka too have reported a rise in cases. A new COVID subvariant, JN.1, has sparked concerns as it is spreading globally. Amid all this, the central government has issued an alert and told states to monitor cases of influenza-like illnesses. It has also asked the states to send all positive samples for genome sequencing. JN.1 is a subvariant of the BA.2.86 Omicron subvariant. Omicron, the COVID variant that was first detected in November 2021, has been the dominant strain in India since. Due to its rapid spread, WHO has classified JN.1 as a separate variant of interest from the parent lineage BA.2.86. In comparison with the parent lineage BA.2.86, JN.1 has the additional L455S mutation in the spike protein. JN.1 was first detected in Kerala on 8th of December in a 79-year-old woman from Karakulam in Thiruvananthapuram district. She suffered mild flu-like symptoms and has recovered now. JN.1, similar to other variants and subvariants observed globally, is a mild variant of coronavirus causing upper respiratory symptoms. The reported symptoms include fever, runny nose, sore throat, headache, and in some cases, mild gastrointestinal symptoms. All Omicron subvariants, especially BA.2, have been highly infectious so far. And according to experts, the JN.1 subvariant contains a mutation in the spike protein that could make it more infectious than previous Omicron variants. The cases detected so far has been clinically mild and no new symptoms have been detected linked to this subvariant either. With the holiday season just around the corner, it can be hard to practice social distancing and self-isolation. However, precautionary measures to prevent COVID infections remain the same for JN.1 as with any other variant.
The nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.
Of the 21 cases of this new strain, 19 were reported in Goa. Well, that's all for today. For more news and analysis, please log into our website business-standard.com. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.